All right, so this morning what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple things, actually 3. We're going to put the integer operations on in our notebook so that we've got them for a handy guide. Then we're going to add our perfect squares and cubes. And we will be using that today as well. And then page 19 for me, because I only do the odds, we're going to do estimating roots. Okay, so like I said, we're going to add in those first 2 things. So integer operations. And you're just going to glue that in this direction so that you've got it. And I'm going to keep going. But if you need me to pause so that you can glue that in, let me know. And then we're going to do, perfect. It's beautiful that I didn't do perfectly. Squares and cubes. And again, we're just going to glue it in like this so that we can look at it when we need to. Okay? I'm going to keep mine out just so that it's quicker for the notes. And so I can show you as I'm doing the notes. Okay, so time for estimating roots. Estimating roots. And today is 10-4. 10-4, good buddy. All right, so some things to say right up front. Estimating a number is not exact, nor is it guessing. There is an actual process to finding an estimate. We're going to go through that today. So we're going to find the square root of 8. But we're going to estimate. We know that the square root of 8 is not a whole number because it's not a perfect square. So we're going to say not a perfect square. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take our squares and we're going to say, well, 1, the square root of 1 is 1, square root of 4 is 2, square root of 9 is 3. So 8 falls between the square root of 4, which is 2. That's less than the square root of 8, which is less than the square root of 9, which equals 3. So 8 is closer to 9. Closer. So the best estimate for square root of 8 is 3. Okay, so let's zoom up a little more. And we're going to get a question that says estimate the square root of 83 to the nearest whole number. So again, we look at our square roots, our perfect squares, and we find that the square root of 81 is 9 and the square root of 100 is 10. So we've got the square root of 81 equals 9, and that is less than square root of 83, which is less than square root of 100, which equals 10. Which one of those two numbers is it closer to? It is closer to 81. So the best estimate for square root of 83 is 9. Okay, now we're going to estimate the cube root. Remember to put your little 3 out front. Cube root of 320 to the nearest whole number. So look at your cube roots. Find two that are close to 320. Yep, you got it. The cube root of 216, which is 6, is less than the cube root of 320, which is less than the cube root of 343. It is closest to 343, so the best estimate is 7. I forgot to put 7 over here. 8 equals 7. So the best estimate is 7. Okay, now we're going to get word problems. We're going to build a fence around a square that is 2 meters squared. What that means is that each side is the square root of 2. Right? So we want to put a fence all the way around it, which means we're finding the perimeter. We're going to go all the way around, so we need 4 sets of square root of 2 meters. What they're going to say is something to the effect of choose 3 estimates. And then calculate. So first, let's do whole number. So -2 is between, or not -2, square root of 2 is between the square root of 1 and the square root of 4. So it's between 1 and 2. So we're going to take 4 times 1 and 4 times 2. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So this one says we need between 4 and 8 meters of fencing. That is a really large range. I don't think we want to be that vague. So let's take our calculators and calculate the square root of 2. When you do that on a calculator, you're going to get 1.41421 and more numbers. 2 is the square root of 2 is a number that is not repeating, not terminating decimal. So that makes it one of our irrational numbers. For this next one, let's round to the 10th. So the nearest 10th is 1.4 and 1.5. So we're still going to multiply by 4. So 4 times 1.4 is 5.6. 4 times 1.5 is 6 meters. So between 5.6 to 6 meters. That's not too bad, but that's an entire foot different. And because meters are about a yard, and there's 3 feet in a yard. Let's this time round to the nearest hundredth. Let's go 1.41 and 1.42. Now when we get that close, we've got 4 times 1.41 is 5.64. And then 4.142, what am I doing? 4 times 1.42, sorry about that, equals 5.68. This is a much more precise estimate, 5.64 to 5.68 meters. It's a much more precise range. All right, your group work today. So your group work is going to be page 84, 1 to 6, and page 85, 9 to 11. I want you to work through those group problems or word problems on page 85 together. That will actually also be part of your homework, because your homework today is page 85, 1 through 11. So 9, 10, and 11 I'm asking you to work on now in class so that you can all help each other. All right, there's your notes.